This is not science fiction. Imagine this. You snap a quick photo of a rash on your kid's arm, just trying to send it to the doctor. A few hours later, there's a knock at your front door. Not Amazon, not a neighbor, cops, because your phone ratted you out. Now take that idea and scale it up. Every photo you take, every direct message you send, every file you save, all being scanned before encryption. All of it happening without a warrant, without a judge, without probable cause. That's not science fiction. That's real. It's called client-side scanning. And law enforcement, governments, and big tech are actively pushing to turn it on. What this video is about. In this video, I'm breaking down three things. Number one, how cops are already using client-side scanning to spy on your phone. Number two, how laws in the United States, the European Union, and even the United Kingdom are quietly normalizing mass digital searches. And number three, exactly how you can push back and slow this down. But first, we need to understand one thing. What client-side scanning really means. Right now, when companies scan for illegal material, they usually do it on their servers. You upload something. It hits the cloud. They scan it there. Client-side scanning flips that. The scan happens on your device, your phone, your tablet, your laptop. And here's the critical part. The scan happens before the message is sent, before the photo is backed up, before encryption ever kicks in. That means even if you're using end-to-end encrypted apps like Signal or WhatsApp, your phone can still quietly analyze. Number one, what you type. Number two, what you look at. Number three, what you save. And when I say report, I mean exactly that. Your device reports it to a server, and that server can report it to law enforcement. The "we're not breaking encryption" lie. Now, some of you are thinking, come on, that sounds extreme. That's exactly what politicians say too. They say things like, quote, "We're not breaking encryption. The messages are technically still encrypted." Technically, that's true. But if the government can see everything on one end of the conversation, then encryption is dead in real life. That's like putting a CCTV camera in your bedroom and saying, no, no, no. We're not bugging your walls. We're just recording everything you do. Apple. The pipeline is already built. Let's start with Apple. Back in 2021, Apple rolled out a system that could scan photos on your iPhone for images involving child abuse. And here's the key detail. The scanning wasn't done in the cloud. It happened on your device. Your phone would generate a digital fingerprint of every photo you took. That fingerprint would be compared against a government-approved database. If there was a match, your account got flagged and police could be notified. Only after massive public backlash did Apple pause the rollout. But here's the part most people miss. They never removed the system. The software stayed, the hardware stayed. Even today, Apple's operating system uses on-device artificial intelligence to analyze photos and text. Officially, it's for helpful features. Recognizing your dog, reading text from images. But the plumbing is already there. One software update, and that same system can scan for anything the government asks for. Today it's find my cat. Tomorrow it's flag this content and send it to the cops. Microsoft Windows Recall. Now let's talk about Microsoft. In 2024, Microsoft launched Windows Recall. When turned on, Recall quietly takes screenshots of everything you do on your PC, every web page, every chat, every document. Then artificial intelligence analyzes it and makes it searchable. On paper, it sounds convenient. Remember that recipe you saw 3 hours ago? Search for pasta and boom, there it is. In practice, Windows now has a built-in system that sees every password screen, every bank login, every private message, all organized into a machine-readable timeline. Only after public backlash did Microsoft make it opt-in and keep most of the data local. But again, the pipeline exists. Google Android Safety Core. Now on Android, Google quietly introduced a service called Android System Safety Core. Most people never even knew it existed. Then Google Messages rolled out sensitive content warnings. Here's how it works. If Google's AI thinks a message contains something inappropriate, like nudity, it will, number one, blur the image. Number two, show a warning. Number three, nudge your behavior. Google proudly says this all happens on device for your privacy. But let's zoom out. To blur an image, your phone must scan it, including end-to-end encrypted messages. If your system can, screenshot everything. Understand what's on the screen. Save it in a database. Then one policy change, one update, can start flagging everything and sending alerts to law enforcement. The missing piece, the law. So here's the reality. Apple, Microsoft, Google, all three already have general content scanners built into their platforms. The only missing piece is a law that says, turn it all on, or else. EU, chat control. Let's start with the European Union. There's a proposal nicknamed chat control. The sales pitch? We're protecting children. The fine print? Scan all private messages, even encrypted apps, using client-side scanning on every device. Platforms would be forced to report messages, photos, and files deemed suspicious directly to police. Officials insist this doesn't break encryption. But remember, if cops control one end, privacy is gone. UK, Online Safety Act. The United Kingdom went even further. They passed the Online Safety Act. It gives regulators the power to demand detection and removal of questionable content, including encrypted content. The UK government even admitted they won't enforce it until scanning is technically feasible. Translation: as soon as client-side scanning works well enough, they're turning it on. Non-compliant companies can be fined up to 10% of global revenue. That's billions of dollars, so the message is clear. Build the scanners or leave the market. Signal and WhatsApp have already said they would rather leave the UK than compromise privacy. United States, passive aggression. Now the US. We don't usually go direct, we go passive-aggressive. Bills like the Earn It Act don't say, spy on your users. They say, if you don't use government-approved scanning tools, maybe you shouldn't have legal protections. Translation: spy on your users or be legally liable for everything they send. That's not a choice. That's coercion. The Fourth Amendment problem. So here's the big question. If your phone, your tablet, your laptop is forced to scan everything and report questionable content, is that not a search? A warrantless search under the Fourth Amendment? Or does the government say, no, we're not searching. Your provider is. That's the loophole. Client-side scanning becomes a legal hack around warrants. And because it runs constantly, the search happens 24/7. Real-world damage, Mark's story. Now let's talk real consequences. Mark, a dad in the United States, his toddler had an infection. Mark took a photo and sent it to the doctor. According to the New York Times and The Guardian, Google flagged the image as sensitive content. His account was permanently banned. Police were notified. He faced a criminal investigation. He did the right thing as a parent and walked straight into a digital dragnet. False positives in human review. In Europe, studies found most AI abuse reports were false positives. And here's the ugly part. False positives don't disappear. They often trigger a human moderator opening your private photos, judging your intimate life, and sometimes forwarding it anyway. Even if police never knock, some contractor gets to look into your private world. That's the cost. Not just catching criminals, but turning ordinary lives into review material. It's a perfect tool for political control when governments panic. What can we do? Front one, personal practices. So what do? We fight on two fronts. First, personal privacy practices. Number one, use tools that truly support encryption, Signal, WhatsApp. Avoid platforms where scanning is already normal, like Facebook or Instagram DMs. Number two, don't volunteer for surveillance. Leave Windows recall off. On Android, dig into settings. Disable creepy safety services where possible. Consider privacy-focused systems, Graphene OS, hardened Android forks, Linux desktops. Number three, encrypt your own data. Full disk encryption, strong passphrases. Be selective with Cloud Sync. Use true end-to-end encrypted backups, not just encrypted at rest. Number four, be cautious with AI assistants. When they say, we just need access to your screen, your documents, your messages, your everything. Read that twice. That's client-side scanning with a smiley face. Number five, use VPNs or Tor when appropriate. They don't stop client-side scanning, but they do break IP tracking and geofencing. But here's the hard truth. You cannot out-OPSEC your operating system forever. If laws weaponize platforms, no app shuffle saves you. Front 2. Politics and pressure. That's why the second front matters. Politics. Contact lawmakers. Tell them, I care about children, but I will not support laws that destroy privacy through client-side scanning. Demand real protections for strong encryption. No backdoors, no mass scanning mandates. And talk about this. Most people only hear for the children. Once they realize this means everyone's phone scans everything, support collapses fast. Privacy doesn't die because bad laws exist. It dies because people stay silent. And speaking of bad laws and cops spying on us, did you know law enforcement is using facial recognition to track ordinary people? In the next video, I break down the exact tools and what you can do to push back. Stay sharp.